So, so the questions that I have for you, for all, and all y'all, and ask any questions that you have. So, okay, Rick, Shanae, and Caitlin wrote brilliant screenplays in Right Now last year. And then we added Pages in Practice just this year. So for the past 3 months, they've been getting feedback. We did Act One the first month in January, and then we did up to the midpoint in February. And then we just recently did a whole kit and caboodle. So Chris was the analyst for Shanae, right? Got that right?
Yes.
So why don't we start with you guys, and so Caitlin and Rick, you're more than happy to turn your camera off if you're not more than happy to stay, whatever. Like I love hearing your feedback along the way if you have comments or questions, but I didn't want to make you feel like you had to stay. So I'm still trying to work this out, like the best way to do it. So Chris, okay, so Shanae, tell us about you writing that screenplay, your experience.
It was really great going through the course and writing it because it encouraged me to finish it. So this isn't the first script I've written, but it's the first one I finished. Um, and it was really great going through the course because for me, it was the mini deadlines. And it also encouraged me what the deadlines encouraged me to actually finish and get to the point where I needed to be. One thing that really helped me were the outline.
Oh,
Like
good.
we did a course like one day was like intensive um, details through the outline, and it made me sit down and go through the whole script without having it written.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Oh,
so
that's
that helped me a
good.
lot.
So
Yeah.
what do you think was surprising? Like, did anything surprise you? Like you didn't well, you finished.
Finished. That was the surprise.
Surprise!
Yeah.
But was there anything that you weren't expecting, or within that?
It was really cool the community that we like the smaller groups that we built outside of the right now.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
Like what?
yeah,
I don't even know about
it
that.
was a lot of um, hey, can we meet on Wednesday after
Oh,
right
really?
now and just sit down and write? And it was like, oh, okay, cool.
That's so cool.
So
I had no
yeah.
idea. That's
Hmm. And
fantastic.
I still meet with them. So
Oh,
yeah.
I love that so much. Like that's so that I mean we have because you're not we have for everybody just for you guys as FYI we have a
Hmm.
Zoom room that y'all can use that in case because some people can't don't want to pay for the whole thing so we have one but I love that you're
Hmm.
doing that just on your own and so if you ever need to use it just let us know we just have to schedule it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're getting lots of love in the chat. So congrats for finishing. Yes, finishing something was a definite surprise. Love to hear others continuing to have success. Yeah, thanks, Renee. Renee's in there as
Awesome.
well. Yeah. Yeah, so good. Awesome. So Caitlin, no, not Caitlin, sorry, Chris. Caitlin just left. I hope she's not like so Chris, good, she didn't hear me.
Sorry,
No, no,
I
no, no,
got
no,
on the
no, no,
side
no,
of
it
the
was my
screen
mistake.
out.
No, 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 I was moving to Chris and I said Caitlin by accident. So you're totally fine. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I thought
So
I had the worst timing
no,
ever.
you're totally fine. No, I said Caitlin. I was like Caitlin. I mean Chris, and you were already gone. I'm like, oh no. Okay, so Chris, tell us. So do whatever you need to do, Caitlin. I'm so sorry. Chris, tell us a little bit about you coming on board and as an analyst, just your journey. Just explain
Um,
yourself. Yeah.
well, you can hear me, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay.
you're good.
Okay. Well, I did not do the first section of the script. And so,
Right.
right, so I came in and I was so happy that they asked me or that you asked me to
Yeah.
finish. I loved it so much. And I want to be honest, I feel like the biggest surprise I have is that I continue to think about the script. Like I didn't just like let it go because it's so rough right now, but the story is there and
Yeah.
it has so many and I don't really want to use the word possibilities, but there's so
Good.
much
Yeah.
story in there and
Yeah.
you are going to have to make some serious
Yeah.
choices. And
Yeah.
I find that exciting for you, and I can't wait to see what you end up doing. But yeah, there's some really great bones there, and hope that I was able to give you some, some good takeaway. Like, I don't know, like, and even along the way, if you ever have questions, please, reach out.
Yeah.
I think that you're writing something really great.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
now this month, Chris gets to experience the flip side because now we get
Okay.
to look at her screenplay. So I think it'll be very interesting. So, how was it getting feedback, Shanae? What was that like for you?
I liked it live because I can ask questions
Yeah, yeah,
live.
yeah.
So I really like that aspect of it. I've started as a reader.
Yes.
So it's kind of intimidating giving
Yeah.
because that scripts are people's babies. It is my baby. So it was easier to be on the other side because I was, it's you get anxious like, okay,
Yeah.
this is someone's baby and you don't want to critique it and
Oh,
you don't want to.
interesting. So you found it
Mm-mm.
easier as a writer, you mean? I thought you meant the other way around.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-mm. I liked Chris's perspective because the script has been in my head for so long
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah,
it
for a while
was
now. Yeah.
mhm. It
So
was great getting
good.
Chris's perspective. Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. I like because we didn't really have time to talk about this kind of thing. We just talked about your scripts. So it's really interesting to hear your perspective on what kind of how it went down for you. And just for everyone watching, like all of them were such professionals and so thoughtful in both their giving and get and receiving. And the reason we're doing this one is so fun. But the other thing is that I really feel this is where we're heading because of AI. More and more companies are like, you used to not meet your readers ever. And when I went to the Austin Film Festival, I started interviewing writers and I was like, would you ever want to meet your reader? And they were all just so badly wanting that I was like, oh, this needs to be a thing. And so, and I actually have spoken to a few people that are coverage professionals, and I've told them I'm doing this, and they cringe because they're like, no, you can't do that. Your readers can't meet. And I'm like, why? Who said so? Like it just has been the way is like writers or readers are behind the scenes. And so I love seeing it in action. It's so much fun and it's so I mean, especially because you guys have all also been in there as analysts. So you like that's been the difference in this particular cohort of it. We'll see as we get to where people are only on one track. I'm sure it'll be a little bit different, but all of you are in the screener system too. So that I think that made a difference in that you really get the analyst side of things. So, and Shanae, you're a graduate of, so now you're a graduate of both, which is
Yep.
fabulous, overachiever.
But I think there's also something very valuable in learning how to verbalize thoughts rather than just write them down,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
especially in the beginning, when I was even for, when I was writing my finals, my coverages, like I could take my
Yeah.
time and every word was a thought or,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
can come out looking like a pretty package or whatever. But when you're
Right.
actually talking to a writer and you have to be off the cuff and, and you really have to know the material, and to know what a writer wants to hear or what feedback is beneficial. I think it's a two-way street. I thought it was really helpful in that way.
Interesting. So, do you guys have any questions for Chris or Shanae about the process or anything? Let's see. Happy hoots for finishing. So good. Yeah, they're right. Thanks, Haley. No, you're not. Diane says her chat. Just Diane, where you put that, your chat is. That's where our chat is. We don't have a chat for this format. Anae says, gotta say, this is so cool to see everything come together from both sides like this. It's so amazing. This has been Cherie's dream for a very long time. And she's been, I gotta admit, I was a little bit reluctant at first because I'm so trained that readers are behind the scenes. So as I started to realize, oh no, this is actually okay. And she's just been pushing for it from the very beginning. So I have to say, she's, as always, Cherie has your guys' back. Like she always wants to do new things. Renee says, I was able to do something more personal with a writer I met, and he was so impressed with how things went. So Renee, for all y'all, is a graduate of our analyst side. We did not speak, but he was able to ask me questions about my feedback, and we went through them together via email. So I really think, and I know, Diane, you've talked about that too as a graduate, being able to talk, and I think you and Rick have worked together a bit too as well. Yeah, so it's like
Extensively.
yeah, for sure. So it does make a huge difference, and so it can be really daunting at first, and I love that you guys can do it in a place where it's safe and I can kind of help you feel more comfortable and whatever. And we're going to get to a place. I did read these screenplays, but I'd like to get to a place where I don't read the screenplay so that I can get a sense of it as a producer just from the conversation, because that's where we want to get you guys, as to where you're getting it across in a way that a producer will understand it without having read it, which I think will be really fun as we move forward. So thank you, ladies. All right, Mr. Rick, do tell us everything.
What's the question? Because I've also done both parts.
So the question is, tell us your story, like how you came in, what you did, and where you ended up.
Well, for me, I started as a reader, took the class, finished the class, and I did read for the Austin Film Festival for 2 seasons. And as I got to the end of the 2nd season, a little burned out from reading over 500 scripts in that time, I came to the realization for me that I had read a good number of scripts that needed a lot of development, as a nice way of saying it. And I decided that I could write a script that demanded the same kind of development also.
Yeah.
But that's a nice way of saying it. So I decided to write. I was given the opportunity to take the Right Now class, and the biggest thing for me was the accountability. I have a drawer full of ideas. I did have one story in particular that had been on my mind for a couple of years. I had my opening scene and I had my closing scene. I just didn't know how to connect the dots. And in taking the Right Now, it basically compelled me to say every week I need to take this class session and do something. So I will write, maybe not a page a day. Some days you just don't feel it, but I will try to get to 5 pages a week or so. And at the end of 12 weeks, somehow I had 90 pages. I don't know how it happened. I had 90 pages with a beginning, a middle, and end. I hit all the beats, and I'm like, this story's not too bad. And that's where it kind of started when you all hit me up to join the Pages in Practice. I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I guess the next part of how did it feel, and this is where writing this is my first script. An imposter syndrome, even as a reader, was huge. Writing, also sharing something with other people that I wrote. When I've been criticizing other people or critiquing others, I'm like, okay, now it's time for me, bring it on. But I don't want it. I don't want the negativity. And, but I do enjoy, like with Kristen, she was awesome. Besides certainly giving me a lot of positive feedback, anything that she delivered that needed to be shared that might not be such a positive thing, say, hey, you could do this, was still done in a caring sense that it didn't feel like an attack. I think that's really important. I know I shared once in the 2nd session with Pages in Practice, I did have a reader who made things kind of personal, used very derogatory terminology, and really turned me off in general to that person, but also to anything they had to say, even if they made good points. I just didn't value it quite the same. So I found that taking the reading class, part of it, providing coverage, certainly helps me understand that, and also will help other people who provide coverage and give feedback in person, like Chris said, that you do it with a little touch of humility, a little touch of humanity, and just be nice. Because again, like Janine said, it's our baby, we care about it. We worked on it for whatever period of time. Even if you have your vomit draft and you knock it out in a week, it's still something, it's your idea that you generated. So hearing somebody else really attack it with malice is not the way to go. It's couch it in a nice way.
Something that I've noticed about you that I think is really kind of cool. So Rick came in, former ER doctor. This was not his world, and you the way that you've embodied it, it's become part of your identity now. Just the way you talk about it. You talk about your vomit draft and the lingo, and you're like you just have like totally embraced it and just like made it your world. Which for those of you that are just starting out and maybe haven't done anything, like you're such a testament to that. Of like if you dig in and you just do the work. You suddenly it's kind of who you are, and you made a comment during the session where you were like, oh, it's just Mendelsohn, that's how he writes, like already kind of thinking about like what the future might hold, which is really, really, really cool. So kudos to you for that. And the thing I loved, Kristen couldn't make it today, but Kristen had this very calm and very systematic and methodical way that she presented, and she would slow everything down, which I loved, and like held space in that way, and then would say, okay, this is what I'm seeing the story is about, and she would review like like you would do in a coverage, but she would say, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, which seems kind of weird. That, of course, we did that in the coverage, but when the person's sitting right there, it's kind of like, yeah, I know that. But then she'd say, do I have that right? And I'm seeing this, right? And I love that because it developed this kind of trust in that the person really read every minute and like was really, and I just loved that style of how she presented to you. I thought it was really interesting and very thoughtful. I'm really looking forward to her session tomorrow that we're going to do of what she can do next. Now that I've seen her do that, that's the other thing for everyone in the membership is like as you get to know each other and I get to see what everybody's thing is, like it makes it so much better, and we can work on whatever it is that's holding you back and move forward. So really, like, kudos to you guys. So cool. Very cool. Thanks, Rick. And the other thing that's funny about Rick's screenplay, he's like,
I know it.
you can take it. I know it's a teeny bit dark. No, it's a super violent, but it's really, I mean, all of these screenplays are so great because these three writers, and that was kind of a happy accident. We picked people that we knew had a solid screenplay, but the three are very, very different screenplays. And his is really, it's a serial killer, it's a dark story. And she read it at first and was like, oh, this is super dark. Is that okay? And I was like, well, of course it's going to be okay. We just have to find the right analyst, which Kristen absolutely was. We knew she was because she had graduated, and she's on our pipeline, which is a director that we have of our graduates, and she had thriller, and I think she even had, I don't know if she had horror, but she had thriller in her lists of screenplays that she'll read. And so we contacted her and said, do you mind? And then she did a great job with it. And it's a great script. Teasing about how violent it is. You get it out, though. You get it out on the page. So good. All right, Miss Caitlin, tell us. Well, first, I have to tell a little bit is that Caitlin won her way into this. So we're going to do some contests today, and she won the contest to get into Right Now. So tell us your story with that.
Yeah, I won a contest for something I had very much decided I wasn't going to do because I was like, nope, no, I need to focus on Insider Track. And I'm like, no, not ready for this. I don't have a script in me, like maybe next time. And then I won literally like 20 minutes after I said that. And it's like, oh my God. So I went
not only that, you won more than once, right? Like I seem to recall calling your name a couple of times.
I won that. I won the store. I won story.
Oh,
and
you won
then
story.
I also won coaching sessions.
That's right. We did the coach so good.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she just had, the universe was in her corner that day and was just, whatever your beliefs are, was just like, yeah, you're doing this. I'm sorry. You're doing it. And then you did.
Said,
so tell us about
I went in terrified because I was like, nope, I'm gonna fail. This is gonna be miserable. Like, there's nothing in my head. And I was like, no. And so I was like, nope, I'm not gonna have time for anything else. And since I kept not finishing the Insider Track because life keeps just kicking me down that mountain every time I get momentum. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, so then I started with one screenplay. I kept adding. I think it's doing a lot better now.
Oh, nice.
There's double the characters, but I think it's better.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so
that's cool. Because we do, for all of you, we do want to do a wrap, a kind of revisit maybe of where you guys are. We'll just stay in touch and let us know when you get a new draft, and then we'd love to revisit. And just kind of do an update at some point in the membership so everybody can see the progress you're making.
Yeah, I'm super excited to do the edits now because I was like, I kept going back because this is the second one. That was the don't work on another thing. If you have another idea, you're just procrastinating. And then we talked about that in the coaching session. And then I finished the procrastination script. Yes. But yeah, so I ended the program with 2 functional act 1s. And the fact that I went in thinking I had nothing, that really shocked me. So the fact that now one of them is full finished and the other, I'm happy with its slow progress because I at least feel really confident in the progress.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
And they're very interesting. One is a kind of murder mystery and one's a rom-com. She was calling it a dramedy, but I think it's a rom-com.
It's a rom-com. I was so confident. I was like, no, I refuse to do a rom-com that feels like cheating. Absolutely not. I like refuse to let a
Interesting.
rom-com come out of my mind in the beginning because I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm
I'm
like,
a serious
no.
writer. But rom-coms are such a there's I mean they're my favorite genre, honestly,
I
as a
love them
reader.
so
They're
much.
my
I
favorite.
just
Yeah, I love because I love physical comedy and that's where you can get away with it is in a rom-com. And when you do it well, like you do, and Caitlin has a really both Caitlin, well, all three of you, but Caitlin has a voice that has it's very much how Caitlin speaks, and so and these characters are so genuine. And Shanae, for sure, like I actually picture you as the role. I can't not because it's so much of your heart is in there. And but I don't picture Rick as the serial killer. So I guess that's good. Like I don't really see Rick feeding pigs anytime soon. He does live in Austin, so I don't know. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So let me see any questions. Yeah. So Diane says you need to buy some lottery tickets, Caitlin, for sure. Yeah, really good. Yeah, Crystal says congrats, Caitlin. That's amazing. And Gary says this is why when I can, I only want to concentrate on genres I like so I can give feedback in a more positive way. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it does help as an analyst. Like I didn't cover, even though I'm writing Fallen Fireflies now, I didn't cover the fantasy genre because I always felt like I was, I don't know, not smart enough. I was always missing something. And the same with sci-fi. I wanted to make sure that a true sci-fi lover was reading that screenplay to really give it its best shot. And Anae says she loves your perspective, Rick. It's really great. So Dana says, when going over the screenplay with your reader, how did you handle constructive criticism? Anybody want to speak to that?
Oh, I can because honestly, that's the only that I don't do well with praise. Um, I don't trust it. There's something about getting praise on praise on praise that I'm like, this is coming from a really disingenuous
Uh,
place. I'm like, okay, it feels like toxic positivity to me. So I liked that Pamela was always very, I loved the script, and then said everything that was flawed in
yeah,
it, which I knew how flawed it was. I would have not trusted if it was like, oh, this is perfect and everything's amazing. So I'm like,
so good.
I know it isn't. So,
Yeah,
like, the constructive criticism, it's like, it's just kind of giving you this foundation for how to go about edits,
yeah,
to
yeah,
just everything is just giving you a stronger foundation over what you already have.
yeah.
So, it's very heart centric, like we try to be here. And so it was nice not hearing something because it's like, I just think if I'm getting too much positive feedback, how do I know that they actually really analyzed it? So like I thrive on constructive criticism.
And I do think that heart-centered approach is it's a big part of what we talk about in here and in coaching too. I mean, we had Dawn was so brave today and Gary in their coaching sessions. And I mean, with all the love in my heart, but I'll be like, not believing in your self-criticism. And you and I have had coaching sessions like that too, where it's like, and just like the fact that like, I love to praise you, even though you don't really want my praise. I'm going to
If
continue
I
to make
believe
you
it,
learn.
it's like
Yeah.
okay, it's the praise on praise on praise on praise.
Yes, totally. It's
It
the
feels like
chat
a
GPT
participation
praise.
trophy.
You're the best. Yeah, we don't want that for sure. So really good. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that? Any thoughts come to mind?
Well, I guess for me, I would
Go
say,
ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, Shanae, go ahead.
For me, Chris said what I was thinking. So when I was thinking, it was like, oh, is this coming off well for the reader? And she would say it. So it confirmed, oh, okay, this is definitely something I need to work on.
That's cool. That's really cool when you hear it from someone and you can confirm like the things that you want to do. And what were you going to say, Rick?
Well, I was going to say, again, the imposter syndrome is still huge. And so, um, certainly I shied away from using friends or family to read my scripts because no matter what it is, oh, it's great, it's wonderful,
Yeah.
and that's not useful to me. I
Hmm.
imagine you're going to like it. And if there's something you don't like, you don't want to hurt my feelings. So I don't want to hurt my feelings either. But again, tell me what I need to hear in a nice way. But I do have self-doubt. So I will send pages to Diane religiously. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, this is garbage. I don't care. I do not believe this is good at all.
Yeah.
And she'll turn around and while she will have her comments that say, hey, fix this, fix this, fix this. And we'll have an ongoing conversation for a couple hours at a time. She'll say, this is great. I've read X number of scripts. You're a great writer. I don't need to hear like the pat on the back every time, but these pages, this is good stuff. Your script is solid. It's great. It's wonderful. And like you guys saw with Kristen, I mean, what I took away from like the first time is, even though when she had it, I was only like 75 pages. She didn't even have the end. And the assignment was read the first 15 pages or the inciting incident. She's like, I couldn't put it down. It was a page turner. I need to know the end. So I know it's like, oh, okay, I got something here.
Yeah.
And that feels good, but that doesn't mean there isn't a problem there. So again, coming back to what I said earlier, say what you need to say, and I have a choice. I can either listen to what you have to say or not. And it's
Well,
fine for
I
me to
love
do
your
that.
approach too of just getting a bunch of feedback and then realizing, okay, there's all this feedback. If I see the same comment all the time, kind of today in our coaching session, those of you that were there, we talked about that too. When you see the same comment from a bunch of people, then it's like, okay, that's something I should take a look at. If it's like, otherwise you kind of just pick and choose. Yeah. Someone going to add? I thought I heard someone else. No. So Carolee's asking, I hope I'm saying your name right there. Shanae was talking about having a hard time to be a critic of others' work, and Rick was talking about how difficulties with readers being too negative sometimes. Now then, is there a module approach element being taught on either of the analyst track or the writer track on how to address the humane aspect of giving and receiving feedback? I mean, I'm an English teacher and I'm very much used to giving feedback to my students and receiving feedback when I am being observed. But I am wondering, what do you guys think? Do we talk about that at all? How do you give and get feedback? It's huge. It's in everything we do. If you guys have any examples, and kind of what you've been saying already, but it's a huge part because it's a huge pet peeve of mine, of that readers that you're not even allowed in the way that we do coverage, and this isn't out in the universe, but in our programs, you can't even refer to yourself. You don't say I think ever in a coverage. It's always just about the story. It's not about you ever. It's about the story. So especially like Rick, you talked about how you got another coverage, or any of you, and that was what inspired us. Was we got a coverage back, Doug and I got a coverage back from a script that we wrote that was really well written. It had a lot of problems with the script, but it was so well written and well done that we were like, why don't we see coverages like this more often? And then Doug's like, you should teach this, and I was like, no one's gonna want to learn that. So it's like, but apparently you do, because here you are. And so so you want to speak to that, of like what you saw out there, or people that, what other coverage things? Have any of you received coverage from anyone else other? Yeah, that is definitely.
I think because we're readers, we're sensitive enough that we understand that, you're being vulnerable and you're putting yourself out there. So I think sometimes when I was giving my coverages at first, before I submitted the final coverage, they were too nice. And it was like you actually have to give feedback and help them.
Yeah.
So
and
I
we
think
have
that makes
little
a
tricks of
difference.
the trade where I say things like, if you say I feel like this, or it might be that, it's because you're afraid to go like, no, it's this. You're the expert as an analyst. You're still giving straight out, this needs work, that needs work, but you're never saying, and it's actionable work. You never say this doesn't work or this is terrible, something like that. Like, what is someone supposed to do with that? It's got to be why, and help people through it. That's how we approach it here. Marcy's asking, I remember when you talked about the harsh reader, Rick. That has been one of my fears too, that I will run into someone like that. I know it still may happen in the future, but hearing you share your experience made me think that I was not the only one who didn't want harsh feedback. In short, it is very normal not to want that kind of feedback, for sure. And I'm not the only person who feels that way. Yeah, for sure. And secondly, I appreciate and realize even more how Carolyn and everyone else really tries to keep this place a safe space. 100%, Marcy, well put. Yeah, it's so important, and it makes it fun. Life's supposed to be fun. Like, what the heck are we doing here if we're not having fun? So, and I still always, I have such gratitude for all of you, and that if we can spend this time that we're here together talking about movies, then life is grand, no matter what's going on in our life. Like, then we have this little window of love and creativity that we can come together and create things. Like, it's the best. It's the best. Jessica's saying, I love giving notes. Jessica's amazing, one of our graduates who's the producer in the making. I love giving notes and love that things are headed in the direction. Philip and I worked together on Pool of Life a few months back. Yay, via video chat. I did not know that. So great. And it went splendidly. Of course it did. As well as being lovely to get to know each other more. Oh, I love that. So wonderful to hear from everyone and be here today. Really great to have you, Jessica. It really has been so cool to see everyone work together, building awesome screenplays together from both sides. So looking forward to all the exciting sessions on the horizon. You and me both. Diane says, Rick keeps promising me crappy scripts, but he hasn't delivered one yet. Better get on that, Rick. John says, will the screenplay that we write over 90 days be more of a first draft or closer to a final product? Well, it kind of depends on, it'll definitely be a first draft, and then it'll be whatever shape it's in. That's why we have the analysts that can take a look at it for you, so then they can kind of determine what it needs. Most people need to write it more, very rarely do you have a first draft out the gate that you're then going to go, pitch. Usually it needs some feedback, but we know for sure you'll get that solid first draft. Anae says, no, it's no yous, right? Only story script. Yeah, no me, no I, no you, never personal. Always focused on what presented and digging for that gem so it can be brought forward. Elevation over degradation. Yeah, Anae's another graduate who's also amazing, and really good point as she's making there, which is I love you guys so much. You make all the good points. We also don't say you need the writer. We don't even say the writer. It's story, 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 story. And Renee, another beautiful graduate. As a second round reader at AFF, the readers who have not done your course stand out. Oh, wow. Yay. I mean, yay and not great, depending on how you look at it. Because I'm trying to get to where, I just formed some relationships where I can start training readers from other places. So we're starting to do that too, so that we can get this is a movement. I really believe this. Like, we're trying to get the world of writing to be a place of collaboration and love instead of a place of like, I'm better than you are. A lot of fun. Cool. Thanks, says John. Yeah, I love it. Anybody else have any other questions? You guys are the best. Anything else you guys want to add to that? What are you writing next?
I may already have 2 pages.
Oh, she says.
It's a full horror this time. I committed.
Let's go. It's
a haunted house.
Oh, I love
I'm excited.
Oh.
I thought I just had little random pages scrawled, and that was what I was doing in Goal Getters today. But I have like a full 2 pages.
Nice.
I'm so excited. I'm super proud of myself.
And I used to run a commercial haunt, so I could definitely be your research baby. Horror, exciting. I love it. She's got a rom-com. She's got her horror. Now Rick has his horror. Is the rom-com coming? Oh, no,
That's my third one. I'm my second one first.
Okay, you're on your second
Serial
one
killers
first.
can fall in love too.
It's true.
They're people too, after all. What about you, Shanae? What's going on? What's your next thing?
I have a friend of mine who read the first 5 or 6 pages of the script, and he wants me to write his script. So I'm working with him to write his. Yeah.
Nice. Look at that. Oh, that's very cool. And then, Chris, we get to review your script this month. I'm so excited. Rowing. We're going to be doing some rowing. Let's name it together. I can't wait. So lovely. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate you being here and sharing your stories. And I just love having you in my life and in my world. So excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much.